Oh my gosh. It's a miracle. The old lady's ovulating again. Yeah, so I suppose that intro requires a little bit of explanation. See, our chicken stopped laying eggs. I'd say it's been 9 to 10 months ago. It was June. It's March right now, and she just stopped laying. And I guess there were a number of reasons for it. She is the last of one of the original broods that we had when we first got out here. They all died of various reasons and causes, and you can look back at some of the other videos when we talked about that, but she's outlived them all. We call her Baby because she's the littlest of them all. At least that's what we call her now. And I was, you never name your animals that are production animals, or I shouldn't say production, but they produce food and they may become food themselves. And you try not to name them, but we named all of them. At least my son and my wife named them. And I just assume call them breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So, but when this one, the last one, was the last one, she became a really good pet. So we named her Baby. I did. That's what I call her. And she was just gonna, hang out until her golden years, and then if she naturally died, so be it, and we would take care of her up till that point. Well, this last weekend, we finally got around to the project of repairing part of her chicken run with a metal roof. Now, the other side, where there's two little kind of pyramid-like roofs, and one side has been done for quite some time, and the other side was a fabric roof, and it was flapping around in the wind, and it was getting torn, and it was like, we got to get this fixed. So Shootin' Gal said, hey, how about we just spend the weekend doing that? Great, sounds good to me. So, and it was a lot of fun. We built the thing, put it all back together. No sooner do we do that, she laid an egg. Not Shootin' Gal, Baby. Yeah, it was really interesting. The next morning I get up, I look in the brood box, there's an egg. So it could have been a number of different things. One, she was lonely because she was the only chicken, although she didn't really exhibit any loneliness. She was running around acting fine. And how do you tell when a chicken is acting fine? Well, they just act like they've always acted, and that's how this one was. She may have been a little low on protein, so we kind of upped her diet just a little bit to make sure, because it was cold this winter, as it has been the last couple of winters out here, getting down below freezing quite a few days in a row. And I thought, it's cold. She started to molt a little bit, and then the molting stopped, and then it started again. And then we had some hot temperatures. Believe it or not, we've been up in the 80s just a few days ago. Today, while I'm doing this, it's 40 outside. It's supposed to get down to 32 in the next couple of days through the evening and in the morning, and then don't get any warmer till any warmer than 40 degrees, which, yeah, it's crazy out here when it's wide open spaces and weather can kind of come through. But anyway, we kind of figured it was kind of a combination of that. Plus, maybe the fabric flapping around was bothering her and scaring her. She'd go to bed early. We thought, she's 5 years old. It may be close to the end, but, these barred rocks, they last 10 years. They should anyway. And this one seemed to be lively enough and all of that looked like she was going to live a little bit longer. And then lo and behold, she just decides to lay some eggs. So she's producing eggs again. Hallelujah. So that's not what this video is about. What this video is about, however, when we were building that little metal pyramid thing to go up on top of there to create some shade and shelter, we used a couple of versions of hearing protection. Pro for Show headphones, which I use a lot when I'm gardening. If I'm weed whacking or lawn mowing, I'll use these. These are good. And I've done some review on this in the past. And a shout out to Michelle over at Pro for Show. Michelle, I don't even know if you're still there. Are you still there? Hit me up down in the comment section if you are. We did some glasses things with them, and they've been great. They've been great. And then So that's what I was using. And then Shooting Gal, because she was, helping with cutting some of that metal roofing, she was using the Howard Lights L3s. And, they're good hearing protection as well. I haven't used these much. I use a different set of Howard Lights when we go shooting, and I use these Pro for shows. I was going to say GoPros. That's kind of the same. I get confused. I'm old. Pro for shows for around the garden. So these are always in here, and that's what Shooting Gal. And I got to wondering, I wonder how the two compare as far as noise dampening. I was extremely comfortable in the Pro for shows, and Shooting Gal never complained with the Howard Lights on. So what I'm going to do today, we're going to go outside of the tool shed here and rig up some of that metal. Take the saw that we were using to cut the metal. It was loud, and I've got a lavalier mic that I use from time to time. And what I'm going to do is plug the lavalier mic into the camera, string it so that you'll see. Just follow me. You'll probably agree there are a lot of crazy things going on in this world today. This may be the time for you to get a bullet-safe, bulletproof vest. I've got one. My wife's got one. My kids got one. You may want to get yourself one. BulletSafe even has panels that you can get that go inside of a backpack. Just slide them inside, and it might just save your life or your kid's life. Go to my website. I'll put a link down below. You can see where you can get yourself a bullet-safe, bulletproof vest. Do it today before it's too late. Okay, let's move on to the rest of the video. All right, here's a scrap piece of the metal that we were using to make the roof. I currently have the lavalier mic on me, and I'll keep it on me while I'm using the saber saw or the jigsaw, scroll saw, whatever you want to call it, to cut this. And I'll do that just with this fastened to me, the microphone, and then you'll see how loud it is. I don't know how I'm going to measure this. I do have a dB meter. I might be able to do that, but maybe we'll do that in post. We'll see. So let me get some hearing protection on. Let's cut this and get a reference level of noise. Okay, here we go. Evidently the dog doesn't like it either, but that's what it sounds like, just ambiently. Okay, I've got the Howard Lights. I got the lavalier mic. I'm going to put the lavalier mic inside the Howard Lights and kind of rubber band them together so there's some tension and it stays together. Watch. Okay, now I'm going to don the Howard Lights myself and then put the lavalier mic inside of these other hearing protectors. Let's give that a try. Didn't mean to drop you like that. All right, let's go back in the tool shed, see what we got. What did we learn today? Well, don't leave batteries in your lavalier mic. You'll have to replace them if you do, because it just drains them, even with the power off. After we got past that, every time you hit record, dogs start barking and airplanes fly overhead. But that was a given. We knew that always happens. But what we did find was that the Pro for Shows did a very good job with a rather small form factor. They say there's a reduction of 34 dB. Okay. Highest NRR up to 34 dB. So there's a reduction. Now, if you don't understand what dB isn't it doesn't measure loudness. It's a ratio, and it's just a way of being able to tell the difference between one thing and another. So it's maybe I'll do something on what dB really means later on, or you can look it up on the Google. Yeah, you could do that. All right, so 34 dB. The Howard Lightning L3s, which these are a little bit bulkier, they say it reduces volumes or levels by 30 dB. So the difference between 34 and 30 is a little over 2 times. But that's by the measurement of the decibel scale. I don't want to get in the weeds. What I will say is it really wasn't apples and apples. It was a little bit apples and oranges. They claimed 34. They claimed 30. If you remember and you look back at the decibel meter, and again, that was non-scientific. That was just shooting the levels upon playback, A-weighted, and that's a whole nother thing we can talk about, or you could look that up on Google too. Mr. Google can be very helpful if you really want to learn some things. Sometimes. You can see that there was a reduction. The other thing that we learned is don't use a saber saw without hearing protection, because it got pretty darn close to 100 dB, which is, every 3 dB is double before. So if you're just standing around and it's 30, 32, 35 dB, somewhere around there, and you turn that thing on, you get up to 100 dB, that's how many times more? Yeah, that's a lot of pressure noise in your ears, and it's not good. So always wear some sort of hearing protection. And even though the demonstration or the test that I did didn't show that it reduced things by 30 or 34, it did reduce it quite a bit. And I'm telling you, with them on, I'm going to say these are a little quieter, but they were supposed to be. These are very quiet as well. So you can't go wrong either way. But for form factor and size, weight, these are much lighter, much smaller. These are good for shooting. These are designed for the shooting range, but they're kind of bulky, and they get in the way of rifles, because I've used them before, and that's why I don't like them for that. But I would say if you're a drummer and you're practicing drums, and use these. These are great. Nice earmuffs. Same thing with these. Protect your hearing, folks. Now you know. This one's a little quieter than this one, but they say they are, and they do exactly what they say. They reduce the amount of noise. They attenuate. That's another big word. Use Mr. Google for that too. They attenuate noises quite well. So if you have a partner that you sleep with that snores, need I say more? All right, that's all I got. That was kind of fun. And always wear hearing protection. That's my new thing. I'll have links. If you want links, I got them. Okay. I'll see you in the next video.